So you've probably seen them everywhere, right? Yoga studios, adult coloring books, maybe even on someone's arm as a tattoo. These really intricate geometric designs we call mandalas. But what if I told you that our whole modern idea of them has kind of missed the point? That these aren't just pretty pictures to help you calm down, but actually ancient, powerful technology with a very specific and sometimes, frankly, startling purpose. Let's peel back the layers and get into the real story behind these heavenly geometries.
For most of us in the West, the mandala is basically a tool for meditation. A beautiful, complex image you can focus on to quiet your mind or something to color in for art therapy. And that's fine, but that's really just the tip of the iceberg. What if that beautiful surface we're all so familiar with is actually hiding a much deeper, more powerful truth? Because here's where things get interesting. The term mandala often gets mixed up with another, very similar-looking diagram, the yantra. I mean, you can see why. They share a lot of the same geometric patterns, so the confusion is totally understandable. But what they're for? Fundamentally different. On the left, you've got the mandala, which is like a divine invitation. And on the right, that's the yantra, and it's something much more active. It's a tool, not just a symbol.
So this is the big mystery we're going to unravel today. What is the real difference between these two powerful diagrams? And if a mandala isn't just for chilling out, what was its true, original purpose? I think the answer is going to change the way you look at these symbols forever.
Okay, let's start with the mandala. And the first, most important thing you have to get your head around is this. A mandala is not a picture of something. A mandala is the thing itself. It's not a representation. It's an actual location.
So a mandala is a structured, sacred space. The best way to think of it is like a divine palace, or temporary home, or maybe even a ritual landing pad that's built to invite a deity right here into our world. In fact, in some old tantric texts, its name literally means seizing the essence. You're not just looking at it, you're meant to be stepping into it.
So in its proper ritual context, a mandala is so much more than just a pretty picture. It is a place of worship, every bit as sacred as a statue in a temple. It's the literal stage for tantric initiation rites, where a student gets to see the deities for the first time. It can also be a kind of celestial map, showing the whole hierarchy of the gods. And yeah, for some practitioners, it's a tool used in really powerful rituals to gain supernatural abilities.
And all this symbolism is coded right into its structure. For instance, you'll almost always see a lotus. In South Asian traditions, the lotus is this incredibly important symbol of creation, of purity, of transcendence. So, in a mandala, the main deity lives right in the very heart of the lotus, and all the lesser gods are placed on the petals. It's literally a map of the divine pecking order.
Okay, so a mandala is a sacred place, a divine residence. Got it. But what about that other diagram, the yantra? Well, if the mandala is a passive space for invitation, the yantra is an active tool. It's not a place for worship, it's an instrument for wielding power.
Just look at the contrast here. It makes it super clear. A mandala is a sacred place. A yantra is a cosmic instrument. Mandalas can be huge, drawn on the ground with colored powders, big enough for people to walk into. Yantras? They're usually small, personal, something you can carry. And while mandalas are often exploding with color, yantras are mostly about the power of the line, the geometry. But the biggest difference is right there at the bottom. Purpose, worship versus control.
The name itself really tells the whole story. Yantra comes from the Sanskrit root yam, which means to control. So a yantra is an instrument, it's a machine, a magical diagram designed to make something specific happen. Some scholars have even called them coercive diagrams. It's less of a divine palace and way more like a cosmic circuit board, which you then power up with mantras to channel energy toward a very specific and sometimes pretty startling goal.
And what kind of goals are we talking about? Well, this is where the raw power of the yantra becomes crystal clear. They are key instruments in what are called the 6 rites of magic, or abhichara. And these rites, they cover an incredible range. They go from benevolent things like appeasement to more controlling actions like subjection and immobilization, all the way to really destructive rites like creating enmity between people, eradication, and yes, even killing.
Let's look at a concrete example. This right here is an Akarsana yantra. I know, that's a mouthful, but it basically means an attraction yantra. It's a diagram made for a very specific desire. In this case, to attract a person or maybe a thing. And see that name, Devadatta, in the middle? That's just a placeholder. In a real ritual, you'd write the name of the actual target right there. But hey, it is not all about control and coercion. Some yantras are incredibly profound objects of worship. This is the famous Sri Yantra, or Sri Chakra, which is considered one of the most important and powerful yantras in existence. It represents the goddess Tripura Sundari and the very fabric of the cosmos. It can be a two-dimensional drawing like this, or even a stunning three-dimensional structure.
And the creation of these yantras, well, it can be an incredibly intense process. They might be drawn on something perishable like birch bark, or etched into metal plates so they last for generations. The instructions sometimes call for special inks, anything from sacred turmeric to, in the most extreme rites, human or animal blood. And once the diagram is drawn, it's consecrated with powerful mantras, which transforms it from a simple drawing into a potent tool, ready to be worn as a protective amulet, or even hidden in someone's home to exert its influence.
So we've got mandalas as sacred places and yantras as cosmic instruments. But these ancient blueprints, they don't just exist in old dusty texts. They have a direct line to our modern world, connecting these cosmic diagrams to maps of our very own bodies.
There's this third, really crucial term that acts as a bridge between the world of these ritual diagrams and a concept you've almost definitely heard before, and that word is chakra, which literally means circle or wheel.
Now, here's the cool part. The word chakra can refer to a part of a mandala's structure, like the circles or wheels where the deities live. But, and this is amazing, it also refers to the tantric concept of the energy centers inside the human body. That's right, what we now call the 7 chakras. These internal energy wheels are often visualized as lotuses themselves, creating this direct, powerful link between the big picture of the ritual diagram and the small-scale universe of the human body. As above, so below.
And once you start looking for this kind of sacred geometry, you realize it's not just confined to ancient rituals. Not at all. The principles behind these diagrams, these heavenly blueprints, they are embedded in the world all around us, a lot of times in plain sight.
You can see their patterns in the beautiful temporary floor designs of Rangoli and Kolam. They formed the actual layout of ancient cities and temples. They are the mathematical and spiritual foundation of Vastu Shastra, which is the traditional Hindu science of architecture. And that influence is still going today, inspiring modern architects like Charles Correa in his designs for major buildings all across India.
And what's really wild is that this impulse to draw these cosmic maps isn't limited to South Asia. This pattern right here, the flower of life, is a form of sacred geometry that's been found in ancient sites all over the planet, from Egypt and India to China and Japan. It's like humanity, across all these different cultures and continents, has been trying to tap into the very same fundamental patterns that seem to hold everything together.
Which really just leaves us with one final big question. Are these mandalas and yantras just fascinating artifacts from another time? Blueprints for old rituals and temples? Or are they something more? Are they actually attempts to map the very structure of the cosmos itself? The unseen geometries that organize our reality? From the massive scale of the universe right down to the little energy centers spinning inside our own bodies? Definitely something to think about.